Ex-fat people, what is an underrated fat loss tip? Be honest with yourself and track your calories. Get a calorie tracker and log your meals for a week. Don't change anything. Eat and drink like you normally would, but track it all. It'll blow your mind how that handful of nuts, 4 sodas, a couple of extra dinner rolls with butter, and other small items all add up, and you're staring at a mind-bending daily caloric intake. It shows you where you really are starting from, and you can make real adjustments to get started. Well, you know what? I do like this approach. Get a baseline and then get some understanding, as by far most people have never ever looked at calories or a composition of what they're eating. And before I forget, other me's on Rufus stories doing what he does best, unpacking some crazy relationship stories. It's a good time, I promise. Links in the description if you're down. All right, back to these stories. Story 2. Don't go from 0 to 100% immediately. If you switch from a poor diet and no exercise to an insane diet and intense regimen in one day, you are never going to stick to it. It's okay to progress slowly. Stop looking for shortcuts. The time you waste looking for a magic diet fad, supplement, or pill could have been used to actually do the work and get you halfway there. Take advice from people who have never been fat with a massive grain of salt. A lot of gym rats, bodybuilders, and extremely in-shape people give atrocious advice to overweight people. They recommend exercises that are going to end your joints and fail to recognize that losing fat for them and losing fat for you are two very different things. They also completely ignore the psychological aspect of getting fat in the first place because they have never experienced it. Motivation is good, but discipline is what is going to get you there. Don't give up after one bad day, weekend, or even a month. Getting healthy is a journey. Story 3. A lot of people will tell you to eat less calorie-dense foods like vegetables or to avoid this and that, trans, polyunsaturated fats, this or that carb, everything under the sun, including the sun. The truth is that outside of extremely rare circumstances, it is about calories in, calories out, and self-control. Some of these tips can help a lot. I did a lot of vegetables and keto at different points, but I wouldn't say that did it alone. The best thing you can do is give yourself better habits. You can force yourself into fasting, buy apps, books, and programs, or order expensive meal prep boxes all day. But if you choose an unsustainable quote-unquote fix, you will often either crash or regain weight when you meet your target. Some people are doomed with bad genetics, some have not learned healthy habits, some don't have self-control, and the truth is the answer is the same for most people. Develop reasonable, healthy habits. Change like 1% every day or every week and it will compound. There is no magic bullet, and for God's sake, you are human. It took time and small effects adding up to get here. It will take time and small changes to reverse it. Story 4. My opinion is that advice people give that requires entirely cutting things you love or making you feel bad is bound to fail. But this is just my experience and everyone is different. For me, it started with calorie counting and trying to be honest with myself about those estimates while recognizing that I was probably undercounting things. From calorie counting and watching my progress, I came to several realizations and tips. Reduce your portions, especially when eating at restaurants in the US. Portion sizes are huge. Start by just leaving a little on your plate instead of cleaning it and gradually reducing it further. After a while, you won't be able to finish the plate at a lot of places even if you try. When making things at home, measure out a serving instead of guessing. You don't have to entirely quit sweets or snacks, but be aware of what you're eating. Some desserts might be 800 calories and not really much more satisfying than something with 200 calories. There are lots of things that you can have as a little treat for 1 to 200 calories if you seek them out. You don't have to go cold turkey. Don't beat yourself up over quote-unquote cheat days or whatever. It's about building better, sustainable habits, not strictly following some rule book. If you treat yourself once in a while or decide not to track things for a few days during the holidays, it's not going to matter in the long run, and feeling like you're allowed to do things like that will help you keep the habits. Don't keep things in the house that you don't want to eat. If you're trying to reduce ice cream, chips, or alcohol, just don't buy it. It is so much easier to have willpower once a week at the store than it is 24/7 at home. Give yourself milestones and rewards to work toward. For me, losing the weight was rewarding on its own, but having additional things to work toward, like buying myself something I'd been wanting at certain milestones, was an extra motivation to keep going. Story 5. My wife lost weight by us just walking and eating healthy. It took time, but portion size was more important than what food she ate. Think how you eat, not what you eat. And every day after dinner, we walked for a few blocks, working up on distance and pace. Now we walk more and hike on weekends. In the beginning, it starts slow, but then 6 months later, she was a different person. 1 year later, she was even more so. Nothing is instant. Story 6. At my doughiest, I was like 265 pounds. My wife wouldn't tell me what she weighed, and while I was doing our taxes, I calculated how much we were spending on cigarettes every year. It was close to $10,000, so we quit. It was a challenge quitting after 24 years, but after 2 weeks, our sense of smell and taste returned, and we realized what crappy food we were stuffing ourselves with. So we got gym memberships and started exercising. At first, I couldn't even do 15 minutes on the exercise bike, but after a while, we got both into great shape. We ran marathons and climbed mountains. Story 7. Get tested for sleep apnea. If you're not getting good sleep, there's more to it than just getting 8 hours. Your body may not be metabolizing your food properly. I'm down 25 pounds in 6 months after starting to use a CPAP, and I feel so much better now that I'm getting good sleep. Also, eat a ton of veggies. I've started getting lots of potatoes, carrots, squash, and onions to chop up and roast as a side dish or the base of a meal. I'm new to roasting veggies and was astonished by how much seasoning I needed to add, but I can eat that mix for meals, snacks, and mindless grazing every day. It's a bonus if you can get fresh produce from a farmer's market. Lastly, find fun ways to move. Good habits have to be enjoyable. I love square and contra dancing and go at least once a week. Walk around your neighborhood while listening to music or taking pictures. My friends and I will go on leisurely walks when we're hanging out sometimes. Story 8. Treat it like a fixation. I ate like an alcoholic drinks, but bad day at work? Stop at Sonic on the way home. It'll feel better. Good day at work? Celebrate with Whataburger. I deserve it. You probably can't cure or defeat the depression or anxiety that crappy eating helps you cope with, but understanding it is a great start. Also, while exercise is important, it's not effective without changing your eating. Eat like crap, but exercise every day. No real weight loss. Eat less, eat better, and don't exercise at all. You'll lose significant weight. Do all three and lose all the weight. A good place to start, try doing something simple for a month like a dietary change. I went meatless for a month just to see if I could. I still had things like pasta and other things that weren't great, but going without burgers and so on really showed me I could give up something and change. Give up sugar for a month, give up any beverage with calories, something. It's a great start. Story 9. I've lost 100 pounds and have kept it off for 10 years as of this November. Here are my best takeaways. Make it your new hobby. You have to make losing your weight your main focus. Learn nutrition, understand everything from calories to macros and what they do. Exercise is a terrible way to lose weight. You lose weight from eating less, not from working out. I just trained for and finished a half marathon and I'm the same weight as when I started. Exercise also makes you hungry. Understand this, but still be active. Start with steps and body weight exercises. I lost my first 50 pounds without working out at all. Learn to cook. You'll never lose weight eating out. Restaurants want to give you the most calories for the best profit. Keto, it's not a cliche. Carbs make you hungry. Any restrictive diet works, so if you're anti-keto, so be it, but for me, it's what I go back to time and time again. Fasting also makes you mindful of how many times you just want to eat out of boredom. Wait and track everything every day, but don't let one bad day throw you off. 2 days is a trend. Don't plan your social life around food. You can always meet someone after dinner. Don't drink, it's useless calories and also throws off your digestion. You burn the most fat at night, sleep on an empty stomach. Personally, I know I'm on track when I start dreaming of food. Face the fact that you're fat and not healthy and fix it. And as the saying goes, a healthy person wants many things, a sick person only wants one. Story 10. I lost 85 pounds and have kept it off for 20 years. Stop all soda, sweetened coffee and tea and energy drinks. Drink water, unsweetened tea and black coffee instead. Walk at least 20 minutes daily. More is better, but 20 is easy and makes a difference. Stop snacking, or if you really need a snack, try a handful of grapes, an apple, an orange, or some melon. For salty snacks, have a cup of nuts, pretzels, or even chips, but only half a cup and drink at least 8 ounces of water with it. Protein fast every 3rd day. Eat nothing but protein and water all day. This can include cottage cheese, eggs, tuna, nuts, high-protein shakes or drinks, fish, sardines, lean steak, and chicken. Eat slowly. Don't eat while driving. Drink water between every bite to feel full faster. Stand. Don't look for a seat while waiting in line. Standing burns more calories than sitting. And take your time. It took a while to gain the weight. It won't go away any faster. Make a plan and stick to it. Story 11. This can't be for everybody, but if you're already being a sloth and have no job, find something in manual labor and actually show up and do the work. I was a fat teenager all throughout high school. My first job was manual labor intensive and I melted. Now I comfortably sit in an office all day, but I take care of my body, and it's all thanks to being forced to move around and move heavy stuff for a while. It gave me a really good baseline to work from, and I got paid while doing it. Story 12. I dropped over 100 kilograms over the space of 2.5 years, and I've kept it off for 10 years. I did it on a low-carb diet. There were only 3 main rules. No sugar, ever. Get rid of anything in the house at the start that isn't part of your diet. For me, it was getting rid of rice, pasta, starches, and especially sugar. Every Sunday, plan the week's menu ahead. Write down the ingredients you need for every meal and buy only those ingredients. By being structured, you form a habit, and once you're habitually eating right, the weight keeps coming off. I started in 2014 at over 200 kilograms. By mid 2016, I was a healthy 93 kilograms. I am a big guy anyway, and I am still in the healthy range in 2025. There are many other things, but those three main rules are the place to start. Story 13. Intermittent fasting. My god, this has completely changed my life and the way I eat. I developed a pretty unhealthy eating habit growing up, and for the last couple of years, mainly for the last year, this has dramatically affected my relationship with eating. Yes, I did initially eat healthy and do a lot of exercise daily, but intermittent fasting has changed me mentally and physically. I have a much healthier relationship with food now. I eat one big, healthy, and nutritious meal for dinner, and will have very light, healthy snacks. I just started my morning with a lot of water and black coffee with coconut oil. That honestly keeps me going until 1 to 3 p.m., and then I get hungry. I'll snack on some fruit or a bar and then eat a nice meal. I'm an extremist with fasting now, but it's nicely balanced so I don't feel bad when I have my weekly eat out on whatever I want. Yes, diet and exercise are also really good, but I promise you this will work long term. You're just burning fat for a large amount of your day. Not to mention the energy you have is way better and you rarely have those post-meal crashes. But always, always listen to your body. I've learned to know the difference between a random craving and genuine hunger. If your body is genuinely hungry, eat. You will learn the difference. My overall journey from 18 to now at 27 was from 105 kilograms to 72, 74 kilograms. Research intermittent fasting and its requirements. If you have the extra body fat to burn, this will be great. Again, I am an extremist. Sometimes I even do random multi-day fasting for the challenge. The best way to start, in my opinion, is to skip breakfast and stick to eating between 12 and 8 p.m. I now do 1 or 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Story 14. I lost 110 pounds over the course of a year several years back. Then I was accidentally poisoned by organophosphate, which is no joke, and lost another 30 to 40 pounds that I couldn't afford to lose. My body fat percentage dropped deep into the single digits, but it has since rebounded, and I'm sitting at a healthy weight and I'm able to do 90 to 120 minutes of exercise daily. I've always been strong and athletic even when I was heavy, which made it no big deal to eat 7,000 calories per day. As it stands, I'm 147 pounds from the heaviest I've ever been, which was 337 pounds. I lost 140 pounds the first time over 2 years, but then I gained it all back to 290 pounds or so after a bout with depression. I was down to the 150s for about 6 months after I was poisoned, and it took me roughly another 6 months to reverse that and regain all the muscle mass I lost. My method? I cannot stress this enough, track what you eat and track your exercise. During my last attempt to lose weight, all I did was walk on the treadmill. I used my Fitbit account to hold me accountable, starting with 15,000 steps per day. Eventually, I graduated to 20 and 25,000 steps. And when you're heavy, it isn't hard to get your heart rate up just by walking. I graduated to jogging, but a knee injury moved me to the elliptical. The elliptical is a lot harder than the treadmill because you control your own pace, but it gets easier with time and will get your heart rate into the fat burning zones faster and you can keep it there longer. I don't recommend starting there. Start with a low-pace walk on the treadmill, and when you're able to walk at 4 miles per hour consistently for 20 to 30 minutes without suffering, make the switch. That's what I did, and it worked well for me. I ate a sensible breakfast and kept my calorie intake below 600. It was meat and eggs mostly, then just eggs supplemented with a protein shake. This kept my calories very low, so I would eat a Quest bar halfway to lunch just to keep me going. For lunch, some days I would eat a ham and cheese sandwich with pickles and mayonnaise. Other days I might stop for a chicken sandwich but with no fries. All soft drinks were 0 sugar if I had them. I kept a gallon of water with me at all times and would make sure I finished all of it by the end of the day. That was truly the hardest part. If you keep your belly full of water, you don't really get that empty hunger feeling. Also, you stay properly hydrated. I lived in the desert at the time, so I wasn't overhydrating. For dinner, since I ate very light for the day, 1,400 to 1,600 calories, I would make that decision based on how many calories I had burned by dinner time. After work and before my second job, I had enough time to go to the gym for an hour. When I was done, if it said that I was on pace to hit 4,000 calories, I'd hit a high-protein meal and add another 400 to 800 calories to the mix. If I felt shaky during the day from the lack of sugar, I kept Haribo gummies on hand to hold me over until mealtime. It was very hard not to down the whole package in one sitting, so I packed just enough to carry me through the day. I would lift weights for 30 minutes and use the elliptical for 30 minutes. Eventually, I added time to the elliptical part of that routine. I incorporated calisthenics back into my workout as soon as I could handle 3 sets of 5 to 7 reps of dips and pull-ups, and air squats until I could do 5 reps of 20 to 30. It was a slow process both times I did it. You have to read food labels, you have to know what ingredients to avoid, you have to do allergy tests so you don't eat things that will give you a mild allergy and inflammation. I discovered that I had an allergy to tree nuts and milk. As soon as I cut those from my diet, I started seeing progress with less pain. Then I got poisoned and all that went out the window. For the past several months, my diet has been reversed and I had to start my exercise regimen from scratch. Then I had a knee injury after the poisoning and that set me back further. I went from a 300 plus pound bench press to 115 pounds and a 400 plus pound deadlift to 135 pounds. It was like starting over from scratch and trying to gain back weight I didn't want to gain back, but I did it the same way. I stuck to my diet and to the plan, and I'm about 70% back. Just make a plan, keep track of everything, keep it in a journal, and use a smartwatch to hold yourself accountable. Make good habits with hydration and sleep, eat responsibly, not just to starve yourself. What I did 2.5 times was hard, but it wasn't impossible. You can do it too. Have faith in yourself. Seriously, have faith in yourself. That's underrated. Story 15. Don't think that exercise is going to do anything if you don't change your eating habits too. I was running half marathons when I was at my heaviest. During a regular week, I would do 5 or 6 runs of 2 hours each and went to the gym for Zumba twice a week on top of that. I didn't lose any weight after 6 months of following this workout routine because I hadn't changed the eating habits that made me heavy in the first place. For weight loss, you have to cut down on eating. Exercise is just a tiny little bonus boost to help you feel better and later on sculpt your body once the fat is gone. I guess it turns out you can't outrun a bad diet. Who knew? Story 16. I lost 140 pounds and have kept it off for about 15 years now. It really comes down to calories in and calories out. It's basic thermodynamics. While many factors affect the calories out part, it's an individual journey. You have to figure out what works for you and remember that it's not set in stone. It's okay to be hungry during a weight loss phase. It's not a problem, an emergency, or a sign of an eating disorder. You'll know when you're truly hungry. A hint is when anything sounds good to eat, literally anything. Lift weights, there's nothing better to help with the calories out part. And move, do both scheduled exercise and just keep moving throughout the day. Everything you put in your mouth is your choice and yours alone. You're only accountable to yourself. Story 17. Nobody ever talks about fiber. It works as an appetite suppressant, but my triglycerides have also dropped significantly since I started taking it, which my medication couldn't even do. Start with a 1/4 teaspoon of Metamucil and increase it by 1/4 each week until you're at the full 2 teaspoon serving. Going that slowly reduces the chance of stomach issues like gas. Also, chug it immediately once it's mixed into the water because it gets nasty quickly. Focus on high fiber and high protein and don't trust your calorie counter's preset deficit to be the deficit that you need. Everybody has a different body composition and activity level. I spent the first month just logging what I was eating to get into the habit, but also to see what I could change. Then, every month, I cut 200 calories off my set deficit, saw how I felt and how my body reacted, and then cut 200 more. I'm currently at 1,260 calories with a big focus on getting my protein and fiber, and I've lost 8 pounds since my last 200 calorie cut, which was about a month ago. This includes the one cheat day I allowed myself since starting because it was my birthday and I wanted tres leches. I think because I've been making such slow adjustments, my stomach has had time to adjust to the amount of food it gets, and it never feels like I'm starving. It's also worth noting that I usually can't exercise due to a chronic illness, so almost all of my weight loss is dependent on diet, which is frustrating, but it finally feels like I'm making progress. And if you're enjoying the video and maybe learning a thing or two from these stories, don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button for more videos just like this. Story 18. Replace sodas with flavored sparkling waters, whether they are sweet or unsweetened. You'll eventually enjoy the taste and stop craving sugary drinks. Walk, and walk some more. 30 minutes a day, 3 or 4 times a week really helps in burning more calories. Make healthy substitutions. For example, I stopped eating fast food like burgers and wings in favor of eating hot pot because I load up on veggies and light meals. Eat protein-packed breakfasts in the morning. Greek yogurt with protein waffles keeps me full longer than my old breakfasts. If you have a partner, more time playing in bed really helps burn more calories. Story 19. I was never quote-unquote fat, but whenever my belly starts hanging over my pants, I take care of it. Change the way you think about food and hunger. We evolved from periods of food scarcity and multi-day bouts of hunger mixed with physical activity. For most of us, our bodies operate well in those conditions. Don't trust signals of hunger from your body as the engineered food we consume is designed to trick our signals. Don't be afraid to skip meals when you're just not that hungry. Your body will adjust back to a more historical cycle rather than the infinite food environments we have now. On the contrary, we're seeing benefits of periodic fasting. Lean into that more, but without overdoing it. Story 20. Do not diet ever again, full stop. If the end result of this is that you never lose weight, then so be it. Think of it as stopping weight gain before it even happens because if you diet, you will very likely bounce back and gain even more weight. It's highly likely that you, right now, are a healthier version of yourself than you would be after trying another diet and then stopping. I personally only succeeded in losing weight with medical assistance, such as weight loss surgery and Ozempic. You don't need these, but you need to be in a calorie deficit without knowingly restricting. That's why the surgery and Ozempic helped me so much, because I felt like I had a full meal and I didn't want any more food. I've lost over 75 kilograms in 2 years. Furthermore, by restricting yourself, you're pretty much guaranteeing that your body will want it even more. I'm pretty sure that if I never went on a diet since I was 15, I'd be around the same size I am now without having to actively lose weight, because I wouldn't have had such extreme cravings to binge on foods I restricted myself from for periods of time. I truly believe the first stage of permanent weight loss and real sustainable change is weight gain, when we unlearn healthy relationships with food. For a year before I started actually losing weight, I let myself eat anything and everything I wanted and stopped punishing myself for it. So, in short, no more diets. Story 21. At least to start, track all your calories and, for God's sake, track your screw-ups. That's the whole point. Track everything. It's the average that matters, and you need a realistic average so you don't have the mentality of, I've done everything right and I'm still not losing. If you're not losing, then you're doing something wrong. Once you figure out what works for you, it's actually incredibly easy to lose weight. Story 22. Tracking your fiber consumption can be a game changer. If you gamify it by trying to eat as much fiber as you can each day, you're incentivizing yourself to eat healthier foods like fruits, vegetables, and legumes. There's a gut biome inertia that happens as you eat more fiber. Your cravings completely change. Nowadays, if I don't have at least 100 grams of vegetables with a meal, I feel strangely empty. Oh, and if you're going to track, use a food scale. The precision makes a difference, especially with oils, butter, and nuts. Take it from someone who was 250 pounds out of high school and is now 165 pounds at 14% body fat. Story 23. 2 things are working for me. First, I choose peace. That means no more diets, pills, powders, potions, food I find unpleasant, or listening to anyone other than my own body. I've learned so much about what a portion size is for me, not a recommendation or what it should be, but what feels good while I'm eating a meal or snack later in the day and even the following day. I'm down almost 40 pounds so far. It's some serious mental gymnastics to have your body change and for it not to be tied to the misery and despair of dieting. The second is sleep. Getting enough sleep makes your body happy. And when your body is happy, good things happen. It's an incredibly slow process, but as someone who is closing in on 50, perimenopausal, and who has dieted since I was about 9, peace feels strange but good. This isn't a judgment about what anyone else is doing or has done that worked for them. This is just me. I remind myself when I start to slide back into ideas of what progress is supposed to look like, this and that about my body, my happiness, and my health. Good luck to you finding out what works best for you. Story 24. Make healthy habits normal. It's best if you make walking a habit, something you just normally do, instead of something you have to motivate yourself to do. Break unhealthy habits. If you reach for a snack at the same time every day, maybe don't do that. Break the Pavlovian urge. Make a habit of eating healthy foods as much as possible. This is difficult as you may need to retrain your taste buds to enjoy foods that have less salt, sugar, and tasty additives. Story 25. If you're hungry, drink a couple of glasses of water quickly. It'll fill you up and help you not be as hungry, or at least allow you to not eat as much. When you've had enough of your meal at a restaurant and don't plan on taking it home, pour water on the rest so you don't mindlessly finish the plate. Stop drinking soda altogether, even diet soda. Drink only water or flavored water. This is more for the psychology of diet sodas. For me, I always equated them with being able to eat more or worse. Get burgers, lettuce wrap, not because of the carbs, but for the calories. Most of the time, you are cutting out at least 200 calories, sometimes as much as 400. Story 26. I recently lost 50 pounds. For me, it was just about making good choices each day. Stop eating fast food, wake up and eat something like yogurt and granola right away. Eat multiple small, low-fat meals a day. Skip dessert or anything sweet. Don't give in to cravings, don't give up, and have fun with it. Around the 3rd week, I didn't think about it anymore. I had a new routine that was easy to follow. The weight did not come off fast at all, so I stopped weighing myself every day or week and did it only twice a month. Consistency over the first few months was tough, then it just became the new normal. The first time someone noticed my weight loss and commented on it, it kept me on track, reassuring me that I was making good choices. Around 3 months in, I added some kind of daily exercise like walking, push-ups, or sit-ups each day, no matter what, no matter how busy. That too became a routine, and now I don't really think about it, I just know to do it. I had some questionable results, and at my physical, I weighed 239 pounds. 6 months later, I was 189 at the same doctor, and all my results were normal. The best advice is to stop making excuses and just do it. There's no time like the present. Story 27. Change your diet slowly and with the thought process of changing your lifestyle. If you give up everything, you will fail. Start with small changes. For example, use no mayo on sandwiches and lean turkey instead of beef. Eat whatever veggies you like first at every meal, then eat the protein and then the carbs. Move just a few more minutes or steps a day. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. When you go to a restaurant, order what you want. Life is too short to spend money on a giant chicken breast you don't enjoy. Restaurants and their food should be sometimes a treat. It's all about lifestyle changes, not diets, so don't completely cut out what you love. It's not sustainable. Know that your body changes. I weigh within about 5 pounds of what I did on the day I got married 29 years ago. My body has changed. Middle age has caused me to get saddlebags. I have no idea how, but here we are. I can forgive my 49-year-old body for such a huge betrayal. I am still 5'8" and 145 pounds. I am, overall, happy with it. I speak as somebody who lost and kept off over 100 pounds over 20 years ago. Story 28. Speaking as someone who has gone from 240 pounds to 180 pounds at 5'10", soda and alcohol have been the worst culprits. And walking is underrated, especially as you get older. If you find that you're struggling to exercise, walking can be a game changer. Aim for 8,000 to 12,000 steps a day, just move around. Try getting used to black coffee. Intermittent fasting can be great for a while, but I found I really missed having breakfast eventually, and then just stuck to smaller amounts. Seriously though, a single night of drinking, if you're not an active person, really wrecks you for the week. A few drinks here and there are okay, but recognize that you're an alcoholic if you've changed a bunch of habits, but still indulge in alcohol and haven't seen the pounds or kilos come off. Story 29. I'm still working on myself, but a few things have helped. Don't drink your calories. If you're a soda crazy like me, switch to diet or zero-calorie drinks and mix in other sweet but low-calorie and low-sugar drinks like tea or sparkling water. It's an adjustment, but those calories add up and you will eventually get used to it. Walk. A lot. I'm talking like daily. Don't go from 0 to 100 or else you're going to give up early. Make small changes until they become your new normal. Even if you don't want to track every calorie, just look at the labels. Once you actually know what you're putting into your body, junk food might not even be appetizing anymore. Story 30. Just do something. Anything is better than nothing. One intentional exercise a day is enough to form a habit. One squat, that's enough. As long as it's intentional and you can say, that counts. After a few days, it'll feel like a waste of time, so eventually you'll do 2 or walk around the block, and soon enough, that will feel boring, so you'll do a little bit more. I've hated exercise my entire life. I've never enjoyed sports or any type of physical activity. This is the method that got me hooked on the gym and getting some sort of exercise. I don't set a standard, I just do my best. I always end up doing a bit more than the last time. Story 31. It's roughly 80% diet and 20% exercise. Exercise is very helpful for many reasons, but an 80-kilogram athlete who runs a 10-kilometer in 1 hour will burn 750 calories. 4 500-milliliter cans of 5% alcohol Asahi beer are 820 calories. So honestly, research and keep a journal of your calorie intake. It's probably more than you think. The easiest shortcut to reducing calorie intake is to cut as much sugar out of your diet as possible. This also has other health benefits. The next easiest shortcut to reduce calorie intake is to cut way back on alcohol. This takes away empty calories and also stops you from making terrible dietary decisions when you're intoxicated. It also has many other health benefits. Story 32. I used Noom and lost 55 pounds. It was a lot of mental gymnastics, but the most important thing I learned is that I can eat whatever I want. No food is off limits, but to stay under my daily calorie limit, I could eat 1 slice of pizza for lunch that's gone in 2 minutes, or I could have a giant salad, grilled chicken, or some dressing that takes 20 minutes to eat. Some foods are just super calorie dense and not worth it. Be mindful of what you're eating and how much. Log everything you put in your mouth for 2 reasons. It makes you extremely aware of how quickly you can burn through your calories, and the less you eat, the less you have to log. Story 33. Low-carb keto works best for me. Your mileage may vary. My body hates carbs. Figure out what nutrition style works best for you. I found that using a Garmin and recording my meals in chronometer helps a lot. Regular exercise is crucial and not just for weight loss. It's underrated for mild to moderate depression. If I get my workouts in, I just feel better emotionally. Exercise is also important as you get older for preserving muscle and range of motion. Hate running? Try swimming. Go for a walk, do yoga from an app. You don't have to have a lot of money to build a healthy lifestyle that works for you, but it has to be the priority, not a priority. Story 34. If you're not seeing results when counting calories, try counting macros instead. I spent years dieting and eating as little as 700 calories a day, but I saw no change in my weight at all after having my son. I switched to tracking macros and limiting carbs, eating far more calories than I had been, and the weight started to fall off quickly. It turns out my body holds weight from carbs so much, especially if I have carbs after dinner time. I have no clue why, and a nutritionist actually told me it makes no sense, but that's what worked for me. I lost 80 pounds. Story 35. Do not starve yourself. I've heard so many people make this mistake. Losing weight takes a lot of time and patience. Many people give up because they want to lose all this weight and they want it off now, so they starve themselves to lose it fast. Then they still don't lose the weight they want fast enough, get demotivated and annoyed because they can't keep up the starvation program they created for themselves, and then revert back to eating unhealthy. Just eat healthier, and you'll eventually lose it. Don't overdo it. I've lost 75 kilograms, or about 165 pounds, in about a year and a half by simply eating healthier and walking 10,000 steps 3 to 4 days a week. A lot of people are surprised when they ask how I did it, and the answer is just this boring: I just ate healthier food and portions and walked a bit. Even if you lose the weight by persistently starving yourself, it's extremely damaging to your body since you have deprived it of many nutrients for so long. Secondly, it's pointless because it's unsustainable. Story 36. Work with a dietitian, not a nutritionist. Anyone can call themselves a nutritionist. Keep a food diary until you have a good handle on appropriate serving sizes for you and your weight loss goals. Change your mindset. Progress, not perfection. Food is not bad. The only bad food is food that is rotten or something you are allergic to. Food has no moral value. If you are struggling, reach out to experts. Work with bariatric providers. This doesn't mean surgery, but they have some really good resources without shame or guilt. Story 37. I lost 105 pounds in the last 18 or so months. I lost about 50 pounds on my own, then hit a plateau and got on Ozempic, lost another 40, and lost the rest after getting off the shots. I feel like I can speak on this pretty accurately. Don't weigh yourself every day, once a week at most. Over a lifetime of being heavy, I struggled with losing some weight and thinking I was going to get on the scale the next morning and see huge losses. Inevitably, I would hop on and be 0.3 pounds up from the day before. I would then convince myself that one day was already messed up and would binge all day. I would tell myself, just one day, but it would always be more. That mentality stopped my weight loss on more occasions than I can count in the past. Once I cut that out, my weight loss was way more consistent. As it turns out, the body has all sorts of factors that cause weight to go up and down all the time. Eating healthy generally means you will have lower sodium and water weight, so if you eat something with a little bit more sodium, you will naturally gain a little more water weight. And that can feel so demoralizing and absolutely take the wind out of your sails, resulting in ruined diets and a lot of negative self-talk. Just stay on the right path. Don't let momentary negativity undo all of your hard work. Calories in, calories out is what you need to focus on overall. Remember that abs are also made in the kitchen. I was unemployed for a lot of the time I was losing weight, so I made going to the gym every day my job. I did a 5K on the elliptical plus 8 to 10 exercises on the various machines every single day. I was wary of having extra loose skin at certain areas because my brother lost 145 pounds from being on Ozempic right before I started my own weight loss. His stomach, thighs, and arms are all pretty bad with extra skin just, hanging there. I did a lot of core and arm exercises, so I didn't end up like that. It helped a ton with my arms as they are really big now, and I'm super proud of myself for that. No matter what I did for my stomach, I still have loose skin. I was doing sit-ups with a 45-pound medicine ball, 3 sets of 50, plus planks and cable crunches using the entire stack of weights. I did those 3 exercises every single gym day, and I still have loose stomach skin. I'm sitting at about 250 pounds now, so I imagine if my skin wasn't all flabby, I would look pretty good. You may not be able to see your progress very much, but keep going. Other people notice faster than you do because they don't see you constantly. It took me at least 6 months for my brain to catch up after I had blown right past my initial goal weight of 235 pounds. Even after getting down to 215 pounds, I still consider myself heavy. I was talking to someone about it and he told me, dude, you aren't heavy at all. If anything, I'm built and stocky now. Oh, and now I get compliments from men and women, and I never did before, not ever. Pay attention to what size clothing you have to get and how you feel in new clothes. Every once in a while, if you are having trouble seeing the difference, get out some old shirts or pants and try them on. You'll be amazed at how big they are. Story 38. Drink at least half a gallon of water every day. Don't just have a salad for lunch. You'll get very hungry later and risk binging on anything in sight. Better yet, have a large lunch like what you would have for dinner and a small dinner. You'll have more of the day to burn off the calories. It works. Don't eat after 7:30 p.m. If you can help it. You'll also sleep better. A small handful of nuts once in a while is okay. They are filling and nutritious, but keep it to that. Stay away from fat-free cheese, salad dressings, and so on. Often they're filled with sugar or other unhealthy ingredients, have less flavor, and aren't as filling. So you'll end up eating double. You're better off with the whole milk cheese and regular dressings in moderation. They're more filling and taste better. Just keep the portion sizes low. Always have your dressing on the side. And finally, be good to yourself. So what if you slip and have that cookie or that margarita? You're human, deal with it, get back on that horse and ride. You've got this. Story 39. I lost 75 pounds in a year, and most of that was just a change in my diet. I started eating smaller portions, logging and tracking all my meals, and cut out most carbs. Keto bread and tortillas are lifesavers. I never thought I'd be the guy saying, I'll just have a protein bar, but here I am. I focused only on diet changes for the first 6 months and lost 50 pounds. Then I started trying to maintain that weight for a couple of months. After that, I started working out and lost another 25 pounds in the last 3 to 4 months of the year. I lost over 45 inches in total. My belly measured 48 inches around when I started, and I'm now at 31 inches. I'm now below what I weighed when I graduated high school. Walking will definitely help to get you moving. Something is always better than nothing. Drink lots of water, and remember, sugar equals carbs. Sugar-free drinks will help to satisfy those cravings. Minute Maid Zero Sugar is my favorite. Also, Poppy or some probiotic soda will help as well. It was really difficult to start, but pretty soon not only does your body change, but your brain does too. You start to find healthier alternatives to what you crave, and the next thing you know, you're craving a Snickers and a Monster, but instead you reach for a protein bar and some water. Story 40. I lost 70 pounds from my heaviest. I stopped drinking soda and replaced it with things like LaCroix. I ate whatever I wanted, but portion control was the big thing. No more second helpings. I filled up my plate once and that's all I got. It doesn't feel like a diet. You still get what you want and you quickly get used to not eating to a state of discomfort. I still eat Domino's, but it's like 3 slices instead of a whole medium pizza. Lastly, I walked. I try to get in 5 miles a day. And if any of these stories got to you too, here's more for you. YouTube thinks you're going to love this. I'll catch you in that video.